If you're looking for a state nomination in Tasmania, now is the time to apply. Registrations are open. While Tasmania hasn't received the full allocation yet, Migration Tasmania has released the detailed criteria for the Subclass 190 and the Subclass 491. If you would like expert help with your strategy and documents, my team at Nationwide Migration and Education can assist. Book a consultation using the link below. My name is Sumandua. I'm a registered migration agent at Nationwide Migration and Education. We have helped thousands of skilled migrants map their pathway to permanent residency through state nomination. In this video, I'll cover the common criteria, the points and pass system, then go stream by stream so you can decide where you fit best. So Tasmania offers Subclass 190 Skilled Nominated Visa, which is a permanent visa, and state nomination adds 5 points. You undertake to live in Tasmania for at least 2 years after nomination is approved. Tasmania also offers Subclass 491 Visa, which is a provisional visa valid for up to 5 years. State nomination adds 15 points. Pathway to Subclass 191 after 3 years if you meet income and residence. Now remember, state nomination and your visa are separate assessments. Let's look at Department of Home Affairs common requirements. Now you must be under 45 years old, have a positive skills assessment in your nominated occupation. You must nominate an eligible occupation, have at least competent English, and you must score a minimum of 65 points or more, including the state points. Now, these are the minimum baseline requirements. Tasmania's own nomination criteria come in addition to these. Now, let's look at Migration Tasmania's nomination process. You must meet the minimum requirements of your chosen pathway and be eligible to claim the priority attributes listed in your registration of interest. Tasmania selects the most competitive ROIs first. If you're nominated for a 491, you won't be renominated for a 190 later. Your permanent pathway will be through the 191 visa in this case. You must not owe any debt to a Tasmanian government agency such as education or health. Let's look at 2025-26 program updates. The website and application gateway have been redesigned. You now complete a priority attribute checklist to calculate your ROI score. Pass colors and scores. So gold pass, score of 1000 plus, you can apply immediately. There is a green pass, which means a score of 250 plus, invitation expected within 6 months. Then there is orange pass, which means your score is under 250 and invitation depends on places. There is orange plus attributes as well, which are prioritized. Now, salary threshold now replace skill level labels. The key threshold is 57,000 Australian dollars per year or $28.85 per hour base pay only. Now, gold occupations are now restricted to health, elite health and education. Teachers must work in Tasmanian schools. Clearer rules now apply for contractors, same industry roles, and how work is related to your skills assessment, which is same as for 3-digit group. Overseas 190 job offer pathway now includes education occupations. The 491 overseas job offer pathway is not open yet. Let's look at the first pathway, which is the Tasmanian Skilled Employment Pathway, and let's look at the minimum requirements for the Subclass 190 nomination. So there are 2 options. The first one is the priority occupation option. So skills assessment in Tasmanian Skilled Employment Priority Occupation, employed in Tasmania in the same as for 3-digit group. At least 9 months of work or 6 months if your occupation is in teaching, health or elite health. There is another option, which is long-term employment. So you could be working in any occupation from last 15 months and it needs to be closely related work. Now for both options, you will need average 20 hours per week over the qualifying period. Currently living and intending to stay in Tasmania, the base salary is minimum $57,000 per year. Dependents must not be living in another state or territory. Employer must be well established and you must have a 12-month contract with at least 3 months remaining. Contractors, self-employed, you must have a relevant skills assessment and 12 months of business activity. Now it has priority attributes as well. So for gold, health, elite health or teaching role earning at least $57,000 per year for the last 6 months. For green attribute, employed in Tasmania 18 months to 2 years, directly related to skills assessment, earning $57,000 per year. Orange plus attribute is base salary of $102,956 per year, 2 years of Australian work experience or 12 to 18 months directly related work. Now for orange attribute, you must have a salary between $68,863 to $76,515 per year, 9 to 12 months of related work, spouse employed at threshold or long-term Tasmanian residence. Now let's look at the minimum requirements for the 491 visa for Tasmanian Skilled Employment Pathway. So the minimum requirements are that if you're earning $57,000 per year, you must have worked in Tasmania at least 9 months, average 20 hours per week, living and intending to stay in Tasmania. Now, job can be unrelated to your skills assessment if you have relevant qualifications and experience under OSCA. Now, if you're earning below $57,000 but at least the national minimum wage, you must have worked in Tasmania at least 12 months, average 20 hours per week. Employer must confirm recruitment difficulty and career progression. Contractors, self-employed, you need 12 months of activity plus relevant skills assessment. Now the priority attributes, they mirror the 190 structure with small variations for unrelated roles. Now let's look at the next pathway, which is the Tasmanian Skilled Graduate Pathway for Subclass 190. Now let's look at the minimum requirements. So you must have completed a CRICOS registered course in Tasmania, minimum 92 weeks, and received a completion letter. You must have lived in Tasmania for 2 calendar years from course start. The course must be AQF 5 diploma or higher, or at least Certificate 3 related to OSCA Major Group 3 or 4. Full-time on-site study, at least 75% load per semester, no online study. PhD candidates qualify after 2 years of PhD study and 2 years residence in Tasmania. You must currently live in Tasmania and intend to stay. Now let's look at the priority attributes for the 190 visa nomination under the graduate pathway. So the first one is gold, where you need to be working in health, elite health, or teaching role with 3 months related work at or above $57,000 per year. For green attribute, you need 9 to 18 months related work at or above $57,000 per year or PhD completion progress. Now for orange plus attribute, you need over 9 months related work at or above $57,000 per year or base pay $102,956 per year or graduate program offer. For orange attribute, recognizes same industry roles, in-course placements, spouse employment, time in Tasmania, and English. Now let's look at the Subclass 491 minimum requirements for the graduate pathway. So you must have completed a CRICOS course in Tasmania, minimum 40 weeks, lived in Tasmania 1 calendar year from start. Study must be full-time, on-site, 75% load, no online, 15 contact hours for wet. Now, priority attributes, they mirror the 190 attributes for the Tasmania graduate pathway. Now, let's look at the Tasmanian established resident pathway, and let's look at the requirements for the Subclass 190 nomination. So you must have lived in Tasmania at least 3 years with no more than 50% of your Australian residence elsewhere, and then meet one of the requirements, which is worked 12 months in the last 2 years earning $57,000 per year or more, worked 18 months in the last 3 years at least the national minimum wage. If you are working remotely, you must have lived in Tasmania 3 years, worked remotely 12 months at or above $57,000 per year. And if you are a business owner, you must have operated 2 years and personal income must be $76,515 per year, and the business net profit also should be $76,515 per year. Now for the Subclass 491, for the established resident pathway, the minimum requirements are that you must have lived in Tasmania for at least 2 years and then either worked 6 of the last 12 months at or above $57,000 per year, or 12 of the last 18 months at least the national minimum wage. Now let's look at the priority attributes. Now priority attributes, they do reward health, education roles, longer directly related tenure, higher salary bands, profitable business activity, Tasmanian residence, spouse employment, study links, and English. Let's look at the Tasmanian business operator pathway. Now, this pathway is available for Subclass 491, and the minimum requirements are that you must have operated a Tasmanian business at least 12 months solely or with spouse. Now, your personal salary must be at least 85% of the TISMIT, which is around $65,037, and business must remain profitable. You must complete Fair Work Ombudsman learning units, and if you are running a massage therapy clinic, then you should have a skills assessment plus health fund provider number. If you're a subcontractor or independent contractor, you're not eligible for this stream. Now, the priority attributes, there are no gold or green priority attributes for this stream. Now, for Orange Plus, you must have a personal income of $102,956 per year, turnover of $500,000 in the last 12 months, or employing 10 plus local staff. For Orange attribute, you must have related skills assessment, income of 68,863 to 102,956 Australian dollars, relevant qualification, spouse working at threshold, or 3 plus local staff. So there is another pathway which is for overseas applicants, which is the 190 job offer pathway. So it includes education, health and elite health occupations. You must have a valid skills assessment and a Tasmanian job offer in the same 3-digit ANSCO group. Teachers must have a role in a Tasmanian school. Now, there used to be a 491 job offer pathway, which is currently not open. Now, let's look at some of the tips to increase your ROI score. So you must hold base salary of 57,000 Australian dollars for at least 3 months before ROI. You must align your job to the same ANSCO 3-digit group as your skills assessment. For lower salaries under 491, get an employer statement about recruitment difficulty and career opportunities. Now, for contractors, you must show 12 months Tasmanian activity plus 3 months ongoing contracts. Employer must be well established, 12 months under same ownership. If you want to know which pathway gives you a gold, green or orange plus pass, book a consultation. My team of experienced migration professionals can assess your case and guide you through Tasmania's nomination. I am Sumandua, registered migration agent at Nationwide Migration and Education. If you would like to check your chances or get professional assistance with your EOI or nomination, visit our website or book a consultation today. If you would like to stay updated about Australian migration, please subscribe to our channel.